كده ما أنا عندي التليفون.
Hello, madam. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, how are you?
Hello, Mr. Dai. How are you? Can
Are
you
you,
hear me?
madam?
Wonderful.
Yes, yes.
Wonderful. It's
Wonderful.
pleasure to have you. Pleasure to have you. We are just waiting for our friends to join in. We are almost 7 minutes away. I can see your screen. I can see your presentation. So once
Okay,
we'll
good.
begin, yeah, when we'll begin, then
Yes.
I'll invite you, and then you can similarly do the screen sharing, and then we'll go good. Okay.
Okay, good, good. And by the way, madam, could I share the video? We have a agricultural project in Egypt. It's a video file. Could I share this?
What we can do is that once you share the presentation, you are done with that, then we try to have that video as well through
Also
screen
video.
sharing. Yeah, through screen sharing. Similarly, you play on your computer, and then
Okay.
through that you can share the screen, right?
Okay, good. Okay, good. Actually, the video is very short, just 2 minutes.
Okay, wonderful.
Thank you,
Wonderful.
thank you, thank you.
Wonderful. अस्सलाम वालेकुम सर, कैसे हैं आप? साजिद
जी
साहब कैसे
अल्लाह
हैं
का
आप?
शुक्र जी अल्लाह का शुक्र
अस्सलाम वालेकुम,
एवरीथिंग इज
अस्सलाम
फाइन आप कैसे
वालेकुम।
हैं
अल्लाह का शुक्र है, आई एम गुड। कैसी तबीयत है आपकी? It's good to have you on the
अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह
panel.
थैंक यू वेरी मच एंड सो नाइस ऑफ यू फॉर गिविंग मी सच अ great opportunity.
I guess that Hassan Saab also has joined. Hassan Saab, अस्सलाम वालेकुम, कैसे हैं आप? Hassan Saab, can we see you? Assalamu alaikum, Hassan Saab. Can you hear me? Assalamu alaikum.
I can hear you well, Ji. Assalamu alaikum, Ji.
Wonderful.
How are you, Ji?
Alhamdulillah. Thank you so much for coming over. It's good to see you.
No, thank you so much.
Assalamu alaikum, Dr. Saab. Rashid Aftab Saab is here. Assalamu alaikum. How are you? I can't hear you. Acha, chale. Assalamu alaikum, Dr. Saab.
Assalamu alaikum, कैसी हैं फरत and everybody?
Yes, alhamdulillah, we are all well.
चलें, जज़ाकल्लाह. So Farat, can we start this session?
We're just waiting for few more. Yes, we're just waiting for 5 minutes. Only 5
Okay,
minutes.
okay, no issue. Okay.
We're just waiting.
Thank you, Hassan Saab, for joining the session. Really appreciate.
No, Ji, the pleasure is mine, and also, some close friends and colleagues are part of this discussion, and I think with Daibao here and also some of the other friends from China coming, I think this will be a very good discussion, and I think it's happening at a very right time. We've just had our joint working group meeting on agriculture just last week, so I think we can share some experiences from there. I think our agriculture counselor would speak a little bit about it.
Wonderful.
Yes, absolutely, you are correct.
We're just waiting for him to join in, and then in 5-6 minutes we will be starting our discussion, right? Dr. Saab, I think that Mr. Wang has joined us.
Okay.
Let's begin. I think that let's begin the session.
Okay. Yeah.
Uh,
Ji, please go ahead. Do you want me to say something or you are going to say something?
just a beginning, okay. Bismillah Rahman Rahim, ladies and gentlemen, I hope that you can all hear me, and I hope that we are all audible to you. I warmly welcome everyone who has joined us to this webinar on strategies and synergies in agriculture cooperation under China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, organized by Institute of Peace and Diplomatic Studies in collaboration with Rifa Institute of Public Policy. I'm so honored that today we have been joined by eminent panelist, Mr. Dai Wao, who is the Vice General Manager, China Machinery Engineering Corporation Pakistan, subsidiary co-limited. Mr. Hassan Daud Bhatt, former project coordinator, CPEC at Ministry of Planning, Development and Reform, and is currently serving as CEO, KP Board of Investment and Trade, Government of KPK. Professor Sajid Khurshid Saab, who is a faculty at Tsinghua University and Department at Canadian International School of Beijing. And then we have been joined by Mr. Gu Wenliang, who is Agriculture Commissioner, Embassy of People's Republic of China in Pakistan. I'm so honored that today we are collaborating, Institute is collaborating with with Rifa Institute of Public Policy, headed by amazing academician, Professor Rashid Aftab Saab. Now I hand over the floor to Dr. Rashid Aftab Saab, and before sharing that Institute of Peace and Diplomatic Studies is a think tank, is an educational institution working for building the bridges and understanding amongst the groups, institutions, so that we can lead up to understanding of different difficult or pressing issues. And of course, these kind of forums have been regularly organized by the Institute in collaboration with our partners, which is Rifa Institute of Public Policy, Rifa Institute of Rifa University. I'm so honored that today many of the students, faculty members, diplomats, and various people who had interest in China-Pakistan Economic Corridor has joined us. Dr. Rashid Aftab Saab, floor is all yours for your welcome remarks.
Thank you. Good afternoon, my distinguished panelist, obviously Dr. Wang Liang, who is the Agriculture Commissioner to Embassy of China at Pakistan, Mr. Saab, CEO KPK, Board of Investment, Government of KPK, Mr. Diabao, Vice General Manager, CPEC Pakistan Office, Professor Sajid Khurshid Saab, Head of Department at Canadian International School of Beijing. I am humbly honored that you have taken your precious time to share your thoughts and deliberations on a very critical issues, which is related with the agriculture cooperation between the two countries. And this cooperations can be studied in context with the CPEC. So what I think that the government of Pakistan has already established agriculture cooperation under CPEC somewhere in 2019. And that was established under the name of Pak-China Agriculture Cooperation Forum. I think that the main objective and the aim of this forum was to revitalize the whole agriculture sector in Pakistan. What we see in agriculture sector in Pakistan, that in terms of GDP, the share of agriculture is declined every year. Now it has reached up to the level of 18%. Although the agriculture still provides is the source of the major employment in Pakistan. What we have to look forward, CPEC, since there are several opportunities of Pakistan's to increase its agriculture exports in Pakistan. What we have to think about it, that how to boost up our crops growth by 50% by considering the Chinese experience and also the low yield of the crops and the livestock as well. Pre and post harvest wastage and the poor marketing is another challenge faced by Pakistan. On the export sides, if we see with China, that Pakistan's rice, citrus, and processed foods export to China remains very low. This can attribute to the series of factors, including high tariffs between the two countries, competition, outdated harvesting techniques, lack of coordination between the key value chain players. So I think if I summarize all these aspects, so some of the most important variables which are very much relevant with respect to the strategies for this agriculture collaborations. One is the value chain competitiveness. Second is the tariff and non-tariff issues. Third is the technology cooperations. And the fourth is the research cooperations in the agriculture sector. And last but not least, that when we talk about the agriculture, we usually talk agriculture in the isolated manner. In my opinion, there is a strong nexus between the agriculture and the water. We have to go with a nexus approach while addressing the various aspects to improve the value chains under the agriculture sector. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Saab. It's a pleasure to hear from you, and of course, your welcome remarks. I'm honored that today our eminent speakers from different backgrounds, as I shared with you before, and those people who had recently joined, we are into the seminar organized by the Center for BRI and China Studies in Institute of Peace and Diplomatic Studies in collaboration with Rifa Institute of Public Policy. You are into the seminar of strategies and synergies in agriculture cooperation under China-Pakistan Economic Corridor. Ladies and gentlemen, at the Institute, we had established the Center for BRI, Belt and Road Initiative and China Studies in order to promote the understanding and focused research on a relationship building between China and Pakistan, of course, and how to look at the scenarios of Belt and Road Initiative initiated by China. At the Institute, at this center, we also organize several seminars as you are here today. We also develop understanding and promote China's research, China's understanding among people through our Twitter handle, which is vetted and supported by Embassy of People's Republic of China as well. So and we have large number of Twitter followers as well, and it is research based, and you can follow that and you can have more understanding about China. So my first panelist, I'm honored that today Mr. Dai Bao, who is a Vice General Manager, China Machinery Engineering Corporation, Pakistan Subsidiary Co. Limited. this corporation, this organization has organized Pakistan's China Agriculture Forum last year, which was held for the first time. And in Pakistan, the company is collaborating with Fatma Group. The amazing work that this company has been doing, Mr. Dai Bao will highlight this, and I hope that we will be learning more about the work that that is coming in future between Pakistan and China. So Mr. Dai Bao, the floor is all yours. You can share your screen and do the presentation. Mr. Bao?
Okay, hello, good afternoon, everyone. Could you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you well.
Okay, good. Okay, first of all, I want to take this opportunity to thank Dr. Asif Noor from IPDS. It's my good friend. He invited me to this webinar. And also want to thank RIPP. And also, it's my pleasure to meet my friend here, Dr. Sajid, and my old friend, Mr. Hassan Daud, and also Mr. Gu, and all friends here. Actually, you know, CIBC, we are a Chinese student company. And 40 years before we enter Pakistan, we know Pakistan very well. And we totally confirm that after CPEC first phase, now the two governments focus on livelihoods for the common peoples, for the economists. Definitely, this agriculture will be the most important thing. So for CIBC, we also focus on this. And for the last 2 years, we make some investigation about Pakistan agriculture and also do some work to research the Chinese agricultural situations. We think the potential is very, very big. And that's why we also prepared a proposal. We call it New Era China-Pakistan Agriculture Program. I will share this PPT with all our friends here. So could you see these documents?
Yes, we can see that.
Okay, good. This we call the New Era Agriculture Industry Park under CPEC 2. This PPT includes the following items: the background of this project, and the current status of Pakistan's agriculture, and agricultural endorsement of Pakistan, and also ways to improve agricultural benefits. Also, New Era Agricultural Industry Park under CPEC 2, and also roadmap of long-term plan, and the business model and the vision of this project. First, let's see the background of this project. You know, Pakistan, we have very big population, and also this population will increase in the next few years. So the food security is a very important issue for Pakistan. Also, for the Pakistan new government, and they focus too much to improve the economy and livelihood standards for the common people. It's very important. Also, we think it's the right time to transform the Pakistan from traditional agriculture to the modern agriculture. Also, it's a poverty alleviation demand for this. You know, at this moment, almost 92 million people in the actual poverty in Pakistan. It's a very big problem. And also, it's the right time to participate, for Pakistan to participate in the global agriculture cooperation. So at this moment, Pakistan is agriculture, but it's a traditional agriculture country. It's big, but not strong. You can see this page. You can see this food security risk index 2018. You can see here, Pakistan is in a very high risk food security problem. And also you can see this year, because of the pandemic, coronavirus, the global food crisis is coming. Also, for this Pakistan, you can see the lowest place. And also for this extreme weather conditions. So all these situations will make this food security very complex, very complex. So we hope that it's also the right time. It's very top urgent for government to focus for this agriculture situation. Also, you can see the current status of Pakistan's agriculture. We know Pakistan actually is old technology here, and also very few inputs for the fertilizers, pesticides, agricultural machines, even for the water shortage and unskilled laborers. All these problems make this very difficult for Pakistan agriculture to move forward. And also the very small scale. You can see even at this time, Pakistan's agriculture cannot sufficient itself, not to see export to some other countries. And also very old concept for the agriculture development, and also very weak management. You can see this table. It's, for example, you can see for some countries like China, India, America, Pakistan, and the world average, you can see for the wheat, for the corn, for rice, sugar, and cotton, you can see compare. Even compare with China, you can see big difference. For example, for cotton, you can see actually at this moment, Pakistan's cotton average unit is just half of China. And compared with China, Xinjiang, almost just 30%. It's a very low level. And excellent endorsement of agriculture in Pakistan. You can see Pakistan actually enjoy very good climate conditions. And also we have abundant labor here. And also we have very good watering facility. Even compared with China, in some areas, especially in Punjab, the watering facility is too much good, better. And also very huge demand, even for the domestic market and for the international market. If you check the data of the first quarter of this year, Pakistan food export increased almost 18%. So actually a very huge demand for the domestic market, even for the international market. And also Pakistan enjoy very good global location. It's just, you can see, if we export from China, we have to take long route from China and go to Africa. But if we export from Pakistan, it's too more convenient. And another good endorsement that Pakistan-China, we have very good relationship. You know, China has a lot of achievements for agriculture, and we can copy Chinese successful story to Pakistan. Also, the ways to improve agriculture benefits, we think we should focus on the following items. One is we have technologies and seeds fertilizer for all these inputs. We should strengthen this. And also for the agricultural machine. For this modernization agriculture is very important. Even for China, it's the same story. And also for the food value-added processing. At this moment, Pakistan also export a lot of things. For example, Pakistan export mango, just the raw materials, even rice. But actually, if you want to get more value, we have to do the deep processing. And also for the food trade, we can develop this export-oriented agriculture trade. By this kind of, we can increase our exchange. Also, one way that we can use this wasteland. In Pakistan, actually, there are huge cultural wasteland there, especially alongside the CPEC road, from the east to the west. Actually, not all wasteland there. We can use this land by a large recognition. Also, in some other area, for example, in Sindh, in Balochistan, actually, in this area, water is a problem for agriculture. So we can develop this water-saving agriculture. For example, we can use this drip irrigation, and also we can even combine this with solar panels. So we need to do this smart way and modernization of agriculture, and also to do it like an industry, like a business. Also, it should be globalization, like the Pakistan agriculture go to the international market. This picture you can see cultural wasteland in Pakistan. You can see the total geographic land of Pakistan is almost 80 million hectares. At this moment, the land area soon is only 16 million hectare. This cultural added land, almost half of this land area soon. So you can see very huge wasteland there. So we need to strengthen the land management. You know, in Pakistan, almost half of the population, they don't have their land there. But if we can use this cultural wasteland, it's a big potential for the country, for the common people. You can see we can buy this land with land recommendation and this sewing by machines, and also the water saving. This is a typical drip irrigation system. Actually, this kind of system is widely used in China Xinjiang area. Now, you know, China Xinjiang is a Gobi Desert. 40 years before, there's nothing, but we use this water saving technology. Now you can see China Xinjiang is a main cotton area for China. And also we need to develop this large scale farming. You know, in Pakistan, not our farmers, they just have a small piece of land there. It's not good to use this large scale farming. But we need to find some other way to collect this land together so we can develop this large scale farming. Also, we can use this high tech. You know, Pakistan actually, the agricultural problem is low yield, low output. But if you compare with some other country, for example, for Israel, for some others, you can see it's a high investment and high yield. So we need to change this kind of this way. Also, need to increase the inputs, fertilizers, pesticides, and all the good seeds. And for example, I remember when we come to this fertilizer, from this year, Chinese government actually give very strict control for the common fertilizers, for the urea, for some others. You know, this can bring the soil damage. There are also pollution there. So Chinese government encourage to the farmer to use these organic fertilizers. So it's another in Pakistan also. Sooner or later, they will meet the same problem. So, for example, some Pakistani companies, they try to introduce some organic fertilizer, just like humic acid. In Pakistan, you know, in charcoal, there are not of the alleged coal there. We can think about the possibility to use this kind of charcoal to produce organic fertilizers like humic acid something. So it's another way. Also for, you can see, for the food deep processing, it's very important in Pakistan. And also you can see for Pakistan, it's a traditional agriculture country, but most of the edible oil, almost 80% import from other countries. So we can develop this oil crop scale, and we can make the edible oil in Pakistan. It's a very good way to save the exchange and also can develop this kind of economic crops. So it's a very good way. Also the global food trading. In Pakistan, from Karachi to Dubai, only 2-hour flight. It's too much convenient. So for food, global food trading from Pakistan is a very good way to Middle East, to Africa. Now it's our proposal. We call it New Era Agricultural Industry Park under CPEC 2. Now we use this industry park, not just traditional way. That's why we want to do this kind of things, just like industries, to make this agriculture to be like industries. So we call it New Era Agricultural Industry Park under CPEC 2. It's a main area we focus, crop farms, also cattle farms, and food deep processing and inputs, and also trading, and even the food logistics, some others. This is a long-term plan for crops. You can see we can think of the possibility to set up modern crop farms around Pakistan in different areas. According to different weather conditions, we can develop different crop farms. For example, maybe for the cotton farms, for the corn farms, for the rice farms, wheat farms, even for the fruits, vegetables, oil seeds. Even we can think about the seafood alongside the coastal one. So this is a way. This plan is for this all kinds of crops. And this is for the long-term plan for halal meat. You know, Pakistan, animal takes the main shareholder of the whole agriculture. So you can see we could think to set up different animal farms. For example, goat farms and cattle farms, even the buffalo farms and the camel ostrich farms, even seafood farms. You know, in China, every year we import a lot of meat from different countries, from Brazil, from Australia. Well, a lot we import from Pakistan. So we can do this, but we need to make the top design for this halal meat market. And this is a long-term plan for food deep processing and logistic. We can actually, alongside the CPEC route, we can set up different we call it industries relating to agriculture. For example, we can set up 5 storage and logistics parks. You can see, for example, in the China borders and also in Lahore, is Quetta and Karachi and in Gwadar. So the main cities and the borders, we can set up this storage and logistics parks, and also set up some food deep processing parks, and also agricultural machinery producing parks. Actually, at this moment, the machinery which is very in Pakistan. We can develop some small size and middle size agricultural machineries for Pakistan. We use for the local market, and we can even export the food to Africa, even to some other countries. Also, we suggest in the long future, we can also focus on urbanization and also poverty and alleviation. You know, in Pakistan, in China, you can see probably if you review Chinese development for the rural areas. At a long time ago, we set up the small-scale agriculture-related industrial units in the remote areas. After that, we can expand the copy the successful story to some other remote area. We set up different, we call it topic, economic producing units there. And by this way, we make it like a set up agriculture in industry clusters. So why not? We can copy this in Pakistan. We can think to set up, for example, some modern villages all around Pakistan. We cannot develop this kind of things in the whole Pakistan, but we can focus at the stage. We can focus on some areas, and we can develop this and make this a model. And other places, other farmers could learn from this. We can develop this. We can try to find a suitable business model for different villages, different areas. So we can find a suitable way for Pakistan. For different areas, they have their own advantages. So we can use this advantage to develop this just customer-made business related to agriculture. So it's a one way. Also, actually, it's tested in China already. Also, we can set up also, for example, industrialization. We can set up a lot of agriculture-related processing units. Some for crops, some for meat, some for even for the others. So we can step by step. Also, we focus on globalization. At this moment in Pakistan, we know some treaty companies, they do the food exporting. But actually, generally, it's at a very low level. It's just the raw material export. So we can think to set up some middle size, even big size food experts. They can have certain effects in the regional and global food market. So these companies, they can lead the way for the Pakistan to export their food products to international market. This is a roadmap and a long-term development plan. We hope that at this moment we can give this project proposal to the both governments, and also we can set up start from some pilot farms here, and also push this to the CPEC umbrella. Actually, at this moment, we start some very small agricultural projects already. For example, we work with Fatima Group, and now 2 small pieces of cotton research project start already, and soon these irrigation systems, machineries will run out of clarity very soon, and we can test the Chinese machines, Chinese drip irrigation system here, and Chinese land management, and also Chinese cotton seeds there. Step by step, we can copy this and expand and copy this. There's huge potential there in, for example, in Balochistan. We can use this cotton wasteland to develop this high yield cotton farm there. And the next stage, we can set up a lot of GV companies. For CMC, we are open. We would like to cooperate with different interested local partners. For example, we will work with Fatima, with Safia, with Angro, with anybody who are interested. Let's talk, and we can find the right way, the right business for these GV companies. And also, we can get more financing, get support from the different private banks and commercial banks, from government support. And also, we can set up more demonstration farms there for crops, for animals. And also, we can set up research institute. And also, for the last stage, we can focus on crop planting. It's better for example, maybe we can start for the economic crops, but after that, we can focus more on the food crops. So we eat rice with some others step by step. And also set up these animal farms, even value added processing farms. Also, we talk with La Spela University, and we make a MOU with them already during the CPEC summit in Beijing last year. And we try to set up this modern animal farm in Balochistan. We get positive support from Balochistan government, and now we this. And also, the foot-mouth disease MOU signed between Pakistan and China. So it's a good way. And we can see in the future, it's possible. We can set up not of the model animal farm. So it's possible to export halal to China. Also, we can set up some processing units for agricultural machineries, for the fertilizers. Even we can set up the seeding farms here. In the long future, we can come to comprehensive development, and also the management improvement and commercialization and the process planting and producing. Actually, in my memory, almost 3 years before, China helped Pakistan to launch a satellite, climate satellite, and now this satellite covers Pakistan and also the whole Middle East area. And there's a facility there, but this kind of facility cannot be used for agriculture. It's a problem. And we also think in the future we can use this kind of modern facilities, this ways to use this satellite work for this agriculture comprehensive development project. So we can focus on this modernized smart agriculture for the long future. This is our suggestion for this roadmap and long-term development. Actually, it's a rough plan, and we need to talk with different interest parties, and especially with the Pakistan government and the Chinese government. This is a suggested business model, and CMC, we would like to set up this cooperation platform. We like to organize the interested parties from China, for the technology, for the seeds, for the pesticide fertilizers, everything, and even for the financing investors and also some others. We can make a group here and collect this Chinese source with local leading companies. We set up GV companies for different companies. Maybe they are interested in different business. So we can, in future, we can set up a lot of GV companies. And these GV companies, you can work with different farming units. That means in future, we can copy this corporate farm. So this, we can work like a platform and like a bridge to collect the process for all these increased costs to make them to be a whole agriculture clusters. And this is a vision of this project. We hope that in future, Pakistan could be the important food basket for the Middle East, for Africa, even for Central Asia, and even for China. And also, we hope that Pakistan could be the regional powerful agricultural country with complete agricultural industry chain. And also transfer Pakistan from a traditional agricultural country into the powerful agricultural country within the next 20 or 30 years. And also that Pakistan could be the globally influence agricultural technology and R&D base and the cradle of talent agriculture industry workers here. So this is a rough proposal. We share this with some relating ministries from China, from Pakistan, and now we try to finalize this and share with more interested parties. This is my PPT. Thank you. Thank you. And also, we CIBC, we have some experience in some other countries. We would like to share with you one of our project in Egypt 7 years before we finish this greenhouse project. I would like to share this video with you. Okay, 1 minute.
Can you do that, Mr. Dai, or we can?
1 minute, 1 minute.
Okay.
I will share a video.
Okay. It is similar to the way you shared the screen. You can play on your screen and then you can show. Similarly as you played the presentation. It is the same.
Oh, yes. It's the same. Okay, let me share this. Shut down this. Okay, sorry, I cannot find this. I will share it later. Is it okay?
Yeah. Later, yes, we can. Yes. Thank you so much.
After this, I will share this video with you, okay?
Okay, thank you so much. This was Mr.
Thank
Dai
you.
Bao, who is the Vice
Thank you.
General Manager, China Machinery Engineering Corporation, Pakistan. And thank you so much for your brilliant presentation. Without any further ado, let me welcome Mr. Hassan Daud, who is the former Project Coordinator, CPEC and Ministry of Planning, Development and Reform. And currently he is serving as CEO of KP Board of Investment and Trade, Government of KPK. Dr. Hassan Daud Sahab, its floor is all yours without any delay. Can you hear me, Hassan Sahab? जी ठीक है. You have to unmute yourself. You have to yes, we can hear you now. You have to unmute yourself.
I have already, I think.
Yes, we can hear you now. Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. And first of all, let me congratulate you and your team, and also Rifa Institute for taking this effort and gathering all the right people. I was just, while the previous slides were being run, I just looked at the group of people. So it's a good rainbow participation. People from various countries and background. And before I begin, I would like to say happy harvesting season to all who are involved in agriculture sector as we speak. And I hope this year Pakistan would have a better yield than previous years. And Ladies and gentlemen, I am kind of a person who, gauges the performance in technology and advancement in the sectors with reference to the yield that we produce and the growth we have in agriculture sector. For me, any advancement in technology has to be translated into improved performance in agriculture sector. Unless we do that, unless we have that state and frame of mind, perhaps we will not be able to prosper and follow the long-term plan which Daibao was presenting. And I would like to congratulate him for presenting a case for Pakistan, which perhaps some of our experts in the government public sector, I would say, should have prepared. With this also, being attached with CPEC for last so many years, and now again, I think CPEC offers a lot of potential, a lot of hope for those who are engaged in agriculture sector for various reasons. And these is starting from the early time of in 2016 when we were working on the long-term plan for CPEC, and then later when the scope of cooperation was expanded with a new joint working group on agriculture under the platform of CPEC. Just recently, the second joint working group perhaps was held through a video conference, and a lot of new areas, especially in terms of capacity building, in terms of plasm, and also improving yield of Pakistan is concerned. We cannot become the food basket of Middle East and Africa unless we work on looking at it in a larger canvas. Most of us in a post-COVID scenario do not know what the new normal will be. But one thing is for sure, that the demand and requirement for food would increase. And today we are less stressed as opposed to some of our neighbors as far as COVID is concerned in terms of its impact on the economy, because Alhamdulillah, we have sufficient food, and the supply chain has been, it has been made sure that the supply chain for the food services remain. I'm part of the Khyber Pakhtunkhwa's team task force, which was responsible for looking at the overall exemptions to be granted to industry. And the first exemption that we granted was to the food industry and also to the agriculture services industry. And also in terms of, the services sector was concerned, we looked at engineering services, especially to the agriculture sector, especially mechanics and their support system for agriculture. We believe that in a post-COVID scenario, Pakistan, if we play our cards well, has a very good future, bright future as far as agriculture sector is concerned. But there are certain areas that we need to look at, and that is perhaps getting new technologies, both from our friends like China, but also employing our engineering works and academia to prepare, looking at our own indigenous structure and characteristics, look at the overall yield and in different areas, and then perhaps bring in new technologies developed by us for us. So this is that we need to do immediately, and perhaps while this COVID has given us the time to sit back and look at the possibilities in agriculture sector where we can go. When I remember when the Chinese Foreign Minister, Mr. Wang, he came and we had this conference, and in our foreign office, I vividly remember that he spoke about, it's just 2 years back, he spoke about three sectors, the onion, tomato, and cherries, which he said that, and this is prior to FTA 2 was signed and which got affected in January. And as part of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa Board of Investment, when I meet people representing agriculture sector, I always tell them that please look at FTA, which has recently been enacted, and look at the possibilities that Pakistan has in terms of import duty. And we have a cushion of about 5 years. If we play well, we will be able to enhance our exports to China manifold. As far as the foot and mouth disease free zone, which Daibao has as just highlighted, we were working closely with the Ministry of National Food Security and Research, and Bahawalpur and perhaps DA Khan also offers a great potential in that area. We need to understand the requirement of the importers. We need to understand and probably simplify our processes. I remember a team of experts came from Urumqi about 4 years back, and they looked at potential in Gilgit-Baltistan and some of the northern areas. But since then, it has been mostly talk. I think the time has come that we should go into implementation of all the hard work in terms of research has been already done. Research, I think, the initial research phase has been done. It's now policy articulation and also stimulus packages that needs to be given in these sectors. And I think the governments are working closely on behalf of the Khyber Pakhtunkhwa government. We clearly understand that our export sector, export potential lies in tobacco. It lies in South Waziristan. So using this opportunity, I invite Daibao to come to Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, and also our friends who are participating in this webinar to come to Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. We will do the hand holding. We will provide you all sort of information and help that you need. And we want to transform the agriculture sector in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa in shorter possible time. As the government of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa has given me the mandate to work on this, work closely to establish joint ventures. I know there are a lot of money is available with investors in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, and now after COVID, when I've spoken to them, I think there is a willingness to come and invest back from manufacturing, like LSM sector and perhaps consumer products, to agriculture sector. So I would invite all investors to come and discuss this with me, and perhaps work on these areas. Pakistan is a water stressed country, and this has happened during our lifetime. I remember when I was young, we never heard the term of water stress in Pakistan, and the way that we used to use our tap water perhaps has led us to a stage where we are now under tremendous pressure as far as water scarcity is concerned. So in that respect also, I think for us in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, the Chashma Right Bank Canal remains priority number one as far as CPEC is concerned. We have given this time and again to the federal government, and we will continue to support this because it transforms the agriculture canvas altogether, all the way from north towards south and areas where we do not have agriculture as the main. Also, I would like to work with the experts, and we are working with experts, especially in initiatives like olives and others for newly merged district, because now that has been now part of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, and I think the huge potential lies, land is there. And so on the western part of Peshawar, for ease of those who do not understand geography of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, the western part where the newly merged district in Khyber and Waziristan, which is the food basket for some areas, we have huge potential of storages. So Daibao and my friends who would like to come and invest, because now what is happening is that we produce pears and some other fruit, which is first sent to Punjab, where it is stored, and then from there it is exported to other countries. So I have like places like DI Khan, which are now with Hekla DI Khan Road being about almost 70% completed, all the way connectivity from Gwadar there and northward connectivity also coming. I think DI Khan and its adjoining area offers huge potential for such initiatives. And we have the joint ventures. We can offer lands if somebody can come and invest. We can also connect them with the relevant markets, and in that way, I think this is one area. In the area around Swabi, and when you move to Peshawar, prior entering Peshawar, the huge grassland, and also if you move northward, there's huge green land available, which can be used for. And I was during my visit to Nanjing just last year. I had great discussion, and I was surprised to see the knowledge of some of the experts there about some raw material that is used in traditional Chinese medicine. So we were almost, in almost close to finding a roadmap for bringing in Chinese experts, especially from Nanjing, to come and look in our northern areas and for their raw material for the traditional Chinese medicine. And I spoke to them and I told them that because of large consumers available for this, because from a allopathic we are now looking at a transformation towards more traditional medicines. So I think there's a market for Chinese to come in that. Tobacco, again, we are exporting to Europe. I think if the above and my friends can come and look at that potential also. AP exports about 80% of tobacco, and people are making good money while exporting to Europe. So the demand is huge. We have connected to Chinese Tobacco Board, but I think if some Chinese can come and do joint venture here, again the potential is large. We need to, lastly, a few recommendations before I end. I think we need to work on SPS, closely look at co-branding and co-marketing, and also look at the units that can be set for education and training of common farmers, demonstration centers, as they say. If those can be established through CPEC and otherwise, I think we should not burden CPEC too much. We should now look at individual potentials and look at joint ventures which can happen. Because when you go into a G2G framework, the bureaucratic process, the process is quite lengthy, and it takes longer time for government in China to process. It takes similar time for us to do processing in our part. So I think now companies and individuals should step forward. Need for food is growing. Per capita consumption of food is growing in China, and hopefully when the economy settles in Pakistan, per capita consumption of food is. So huge market potential, huge consumer potential. It's just that we need to synergize. Lastly, I think the time to talk has finished. It's now time to implement and take actions. So I would also request for our colleague from Embassy of China to find, and bring the kind of investors to Pakistan. On part of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, I am there. I will be your one window. We will provide you all sort of support that you need. But just come forward, and let people, right people, sit together, meet and take actions, and the government can support from backside. So these are my few recommendations. Thank you very much again to you and Asif for giving me time to speak. This is very close to my heart, but I feel saddened when I look at the talk that we have done in the last 4 years and the action that we have done. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Hassan Daud Saab. Your amazing recommendations. Let me now give the floor to Professor Dr. Sajid Khurshid Saab, who is the faculty at Tsinghua University and is the department head at the Canadian International School in Beijing. Professor Khurshid Saab has also conducted several programs on Pakistan-China Agriculture Cooperation. He's an acclaimed academician, and of course his thoughts on the floor will be valuable. Professor Saab, you can unmute yourself and share your thoughts on the floor. Professor Khurshid Saab?
Oh, now it's okay.
Assalamualaikum.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. First of all, thank you so much for the Center for BRI and China Studies, Institute of Peace and Diplomatic Studies, and Rifa International University, and in particular, Mr. Asif Noor Saab, who they provide me the opportunity to talk and share my views here at this very special topic today. So my focus would be on like how China can help the Pakistani agricultural sector and boost their economy in this way. So Ms. Tai discussed a very much detailed topic, and I love to, like Mr. Daud also is one of my old friend here in Beijing, and I'm here in Beijing actually for more than 16 years and participate in different television programs about Pakistan-China relationships in different sectors, including agriculture as well. So my focus would be on like how China can help Pakistan to boost its agriculture sector. As we know that the Pakistan is an agricultural country and its geographical location is very important in Southeast Asia. So Pakistan's economy is based on mainly in agriculture and contributes 21% share of its national GDP, whereas the 60% of exports earning are from agriculture sector. The sector contributes a major share of employed workers, whereas 44% of the workforce is engaged in the agriculture sector. So the agriculture is a backbone of Pakistan, in fact. Pakistan's economy is growing and now taking advantage from the Chinese economy, which is second largest in the world. In October 2019, Pakistan-China Agriculture Cooperation Exchange Center was established and in Islamabad, and during regards to that forum, the Chinese firms was provided, I would like to provide the assistance to find a sustainable solution for Pakistan's agriculture obstacles. The similar kind of obstacles that Mr. Dr. Tai just mentioned today. China pledged to open up its markets for the Pakistan agriculture products like rice, sugar, cotton, mangoes, fish, and many other agricultural products with Pakistan in the marketing of the products, also to provide modern agricultural technologies. Moreover, in September 2019, China also approved technical assistance for 13 mega agricultural sectors projects under the CPEC. And CPEC, you know, like it's a game changer for both Pakistan and China, as it's a win-win situation for both the countries. Chinese governments agreed to widen market access of the Pakistani exports, which are estimated to double from the existing level. The government officials have already underlined rice, sugar, textile, and many other agricultural commodities like fruits in the plan to increase exports to China. Under the agreement, approximately 200,000 tons of rice and 300,000 tons of sugar will be exported to China with a total value of $300 million. The agreement also includes special market access of yarn of valued around $700 million. But I think this is not enough. We need to do more, both this country sides and exporting from Pakistan to China and from Chinese to the Pakistani sides. Rice is an important source, like all we know that, for the foreign exchange earnings for Pakistan's economy. Pakistani rice is one of the best rice in the world, and it's long, it's separate from each and very good in taste and smell. Pakistan is one of the top 5 exporters of rice in the world nowadays. Similarly, like the sugar industry is the country's second largest agriculture-based industry after the textile. So sugarcane is growing in approximately around 1.2 million hectares and provide the raw material for 90 sugar mills in Pakistan. But in the recent months, there was some kind of a shortage of the sugarcane itself in the country, but the government is trying to overcome these problems as well. According to the official data, Pakistan's sugarcane production is forecast at 72 million hectare tons last year. So many observers agreed that Pakistan would benefit from traditional sugarcane research from Chinese market, which is a huge market in fact. A major breakthrough was in the negotiations between the Beijing and Islamabad on the second phase of the Pakistan-China Free Trade Agreement. And according to that, the Pakistan's export to China are expected to reach $3.2 billion by the end of year 2020. Here I would like to share some of the obstacles that we are having in the agriculture sector. That includes the low spending on research. That's the topmost area where we need to work on. Also, a lack of certified seeds, low yield of crops, improper supply chain, scarcity of irrigation water and skilled farm labor, improper and insufficient game storage facilities, high post-harvest losses, lack of marketing infrastructure, and lack of access of the formal finances. These are the major concerns. And according to the exporters, the water shortages, lack of technology, and uneven fertilizer and pesticides application contributes to a lower crops. But on the other side, if you're talking about agriculture in Pakistan is blessed due to the excellent climate. As Dr. Tai mentioned, that we have all types of these weathers and the climate opportunities. The range of the temperatures that we have below 0, 50 degrees Celsius and above 0, 50 degrees Celsius. So we have the coldest weather and the warmest weather. And we have all these kind of the crops that could be helpful to grow in the cold weather like north of Pakistan and the south of Pakistan, which is pretty much warmer. So the largest, we have the largest man-made water irrigation system. It's still present in Pakistan, although it has been present since colonial times, very old times. The canals are still functional, although some of them are being upgraded, and also in order to provide, to keep the canals up and running at the optimum capacity. So these are some of the obstacles, but my main focus would be of this discussion is like how these are some of the suggestions I can offer from my side, and even from my different forums. I've visited different areas like Shandong is pretty much full of the agriculture sector. Those suggestions can really help Pakistan, and China can help us in order to overcome those obstacles. That is including, like both Beijing and Islamabad want to further extend to these trade volumes as much as possible in the coming years. Pakistan's current government, led by the Prime Minister Imran Khan, expressed its desire already to boost its country's overall annual exports to $27 billion from the existing $23.4 billion in the coming fiscal year. Chinese companies have already been engaged in the development of hybrid paddy and wheat seeds in Pakistan. Some have been running pilot projects at around 200 cities in Pakistan, including experimental bases and the local farms. Chinese companies are already here in Pakistan and all working in active partnership with local companies or federal or provisional institutions. Like Mr. Daud already mentioned that the KP province is all dealing by him. So definitely there's a great opportunities for the Chinese investors. I'll definitely contact with him after this forum so to introduce some of the Chinese people and investors to the KPK sector, in fact. I've also visited Shandong province, which is full of agriculture and use of the best technologies in agriculture sector itself. I met with many Chinese investors there, and there are lots of Chinese agriculture community who really wanted to invest in agriculture in Pakistan. I know some of them, they wanted to grow garlic and ginger in Pakistan. They wanted to take all the technology and resources from China to Pakistan. I sent them to the Rahimia Khan area and different cities in Punjab, nearby Lahore. They went and met with different people, and some of them, they have made some kind of agreements because they need just land and the labor. The rest, all the things they need to bring from China to Pakistan to boost the health, to boost the agriculture economy. What there was, the aim was not only to produce and sell it out in the market of Pakistan and China, even to export to the rest of the world and gain the profit by both the economies. And I think that's a great idea from those both two kind of the countries and their investor people. So we need to establish more economic zones, especially based on the agriculture sector, which is also the part of the CPEC phase 2. And also there is a further development of the modern water irrigation systems must be required. There must be a joint venture production between Pakistan and China in agriculture, and we should title it as Made in CPEC. That's really important. And we can export those agricultural products to the rest of the entire world. More frequent visits from both the sites about agriculture and its related products to promote more opportunities in Pakistan. Here in China, we need to conduct more seminars in China, maybe required, to attract more Chinese agriculture investors to invest in Pakistani agriculture field. There's also a need for the transfer of technology to Pakistan indeed, because we have very good agriculture land. We have lots of plenty of labor available, but we need more technical resources. By providing the training for our farmers that how to utilize the best resources to get maximum output of the crops. This is a major factor because every year we lost lots of loss of the crops because not taking good care of them. Because the farmers, they need to be trained, and then they would be in a position to save all of these things properly. And also Pakistan should maintain high standards of quality of products as per the international standards. Its packaging and distribution of its agricultural products, not only to China, even the rest of the world, that can really help and boost the agriculture sector in Pakistan. Pakistan and China can also jointly work by agriculture sector under the CPEC, and Pakistan will provide all possible facilitation to Chinese investors. And this is what we are doing. There are almost more than 60,000 Chinese. They're working in Pakistan in different fields and different professions. So this is the responsibility of the Pakistani government and the provisional governments to provide the safe and the secure environment to them to work in different areas of Pakistan. I hope more Chinese entrepreneurs will visit Pakistan and establish joint ventures at their earliest convenience, because this is the right time to enter into the agriculture business with Pakistan before it becomes saturated with tough competition. And finally, I would like to say that collaboration between China and Pakistan in the agriculture sector will become an ideal win-win cooperation, which will benefit both Pakistan and China. It will also boost the evergreen friendship that already exists between the two Iron brothers. Long live Pak-China friendship. Ladies and gentlemen, I thank you all.
Thank you so much, Professor Sajid Khurshid, for your brilliant presentation. Without any delay, I would like to welcome Dr. Gu Wenliang, who is the Agriculture Commissioner, Embassy of People's Republic of China in Pakistan. He's an amazing diplomat, an amazing learned human. I mean, it's amazing that to see him moving across Pakistan and looking after a lot of cooperation that is happening between Pakistan and China in agriculture. Dr. Gu Wenliang, can you unmute yourself and do your presentation? Can you hear us? Dr. Gu, can you hear us? You have to unmute yourself. Okay, floor is all yours.
Okay, thank you everyone. Good afternoon. I'm very honored to participate in this webinar organized by the Institute of Peace and Diplomatic Studies and the Ratner International University. Today, I would like to share the update of the China-Pakistan agricultural cooperation to everyone all. You know, today is weekend, and also it is the Labor Day holiday in China. As everyone knows, China has successfully controlled the outbreak of coronavirus, and people in China are now put on their mask and went out to enjoy the beauty of late spring. And right now, I'm also in Islamabad in the diplomatic apartment here, like everyone else, to stay at home. Like everyone, I'm also following the development of the Pakistan epidemic. I hope that my Pakistani friends can overcome the coronavirus in the shortest time. You know, during this pandemic of the coronavirus, it has given us very important revelation. That is, solidarity and cooperation is the most powerful weapon to defeat the COVID-19. You know, Pakistan has helped China when we are fighting the virus at first, and the Chinese people want to return their kindness to our Pakistani brothers, as we in China often say, for every kindness it receives, China will return many times more. You know, there are many stories like mutual support from China and Pakistan. Today, I would like to tell some stories inside the China-Pakistan Agricultural Cooperation. You know, everyone knows since last year, Pakistan have suffered a very serious low-cost disaster, and the government declared a national emergency on February 1st in response to this. Accordingly, the Ministry of National Food Security and Research request the Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Affairs in China to control the low cost. At that time, you know, the epidemic in China was not under completely control, but still the Chinese low-cost experts come to Pakistan as soon as possible. From February 23rd to March 5th, I accompanied the expert team the whole time. We traveled to Sindh province, Balochistan, as well as Punjab province in field surveys. And also we have several meetings with the Ministry of National Food Security and Research, and also with the Provincial Agriculture and Plant Protection Department. During this investigation, you know, the experts find that the low-cost plague has been very serious since last year, and it's currently at the time when we are investigate, we find all the locusts are in adult stage and they are mating and laying eggs. And also Pakistan is facing some more challenges of the locust. One is from the local reproduction, and another one is from the migration locust. So the situation of locust disaster is very serious, and which could cause harm to the crops in Pakistan, and will pose a huge threat to the food security and the agricultural production in the future. Also, you know, during our investigation, we also find some insufficient in the locust control activities which need to improve. First, that the lack of investigation and monitoring methods, which may lead to the lack of early warning and cause very difficult to carry out the prevention and the control in the best time. The second is that Pakistan is lack of the chemical pesticides as the biggest shortcoming when facing carry out the large-scale emergency prevention control. And also we have we have seen that some new modern technologies, such as plant protection drones, which have not used in the low-cost activities. So based on the survey situation and the experience of the control low-cost in China, the experts provide some strategies for Pakistan to control the low-cost. And the working group proposed several methods. First is processing monitoring. The second is regional governors. And the third is effective prevention and control. And the last is technical support. For the emergency control of the spray of the chemical pesticides, it can be used in the emergency situation, but for the long-term consideration should be taken to coordinate with the application of the ecological control, biological control, and the scientific method in accordance with the different low-cost density and the occurrence area to promote the sustainable management of the low-cost disaster. And also, during our visit, some news published that the Chinese experts suggest to send the dark armies to Pakistan to control the low-cost. But I want to say here that the Chinese experts have never suggested that to send the dark army to control low-cost in Pakistan. Soon after the Chinese expert back to China, the first branch for the low-cost control material has arrived in Karachi by the cargo flight in March 9th. And last week, the final batch of the low-cost control material was also arrived in Karachi port. China has totally supported Pakistan with 300,000 liters of pesticides and 50 size of vehicle-mounted sprayer. During this low-cost activity, I have built very good relationship with the Department of Plant Protection and National Disaster Management Authority. We have keeping very good contact to update the low-cost situation. I have known that the DPP has dispatched these materials to provincial government, and which had supported the provincial government to eliminate the low-cost. I have read the news that right now in Balochistan, Sindh province, and Punjab province, there has come low-cost again. This is very same as predicted by the experts. We think the second wave of the low-cost in Pakistan is forming, and it is the right time to use the pesticide and equipment provided by China for the large-scale low-cost control now. Our Chinese President Xi said China will continue to provide support and assistance to Pakistan in the fight of low-cost when he held meeting with the President Avil when he visited China on March the 17th. And also, during the visit, the MOU between the Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Affairs of China and the Ministry of National Food Security and Research of Pakistan on strengthening cooperation on plant pest and disease control was also signed during that visit. China and Pakistan were joint building the Center for Sustainable Control of Plant Pest and Disease. And also, the building of this center is also the main topics of the second meeting of the China-Pakistan Joint Working Group of Agricultural Cooperation. So next, I would like to introduce the situation of the second meeting of the China-Pakistan JWG on agricultural cooperation. This year, Under the new stage of CPEC, the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor Joint Community has established an additional agriculture joint working group. That means the former China-Pakistan Agriculture Cooperation JWG working group had promoted into the framework of CPEC. That means both China and Pakistan will enhance their cooperation inside the CPEC framework. On April 24th, the second meeting of China-Pakistan JWG on agricultural cooperation was successfully held in Beijing and Islamabad by video conference. And the Pakistani side was led by the Secretary of Ministry of National Food Security and Research, Mr. Omar Hamid Khan. And also the chairman of CPEC Authority, Asim, also joined the meeting. Besides, there are some participants from DPP, PARC, and the Fishery Development Board and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs also joined the meeting. And the Chinese side was led by the Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Affairs, and the Chinese Agriculture Academy and the Tropical Agriculture Academy also joined the meeting. I'm also joined the meeting at the Islamabad. During the second meeting, the two parties reviewed the activities since the first meeting of JWG held on November 1st, 2019, and recognized the establishment of the results achieved by the cooperation mechanism for plant pest and disease control between Pakistan and China. And both parties agreed that this result-oriented activity has promoted exchange with strong socio-economic benefits, which contribute to the agriculture and economic growth in both countries. Second, the two parties discussed the cooperation framework to set up the Center for Sustainable Control of Plant Pests and Disease in Pakistan. The Ministry of National Food Security and Research proposed to build this center in Karachi at the headquarters of DPP, and also suggest the PARC and the Provincial Agriculture and Plant Disease Department to join inside the center. And third, both two sides had extensive discuss and exchanged the views on the formulation of the action plan, which was proposed by the first JWG meeting. And each side agreed to further strengthen their cooperation in the following 8 areas. The one is capacity building. Second is germplasm resources exchange. The third is agricultural product processing. The fourth is the agricultural technology extension. The fifth is the fishery science and technology. And the sixth is the establishment of the FMD-free zones in Pakistan. And the seventh is market information and agricultural trade. The eighth will be cooperation for agricultural development and the CPEC. And at last, the two parties agreed to enhance the communication and the coordination and the framework of the CPEC and develop the action plan on agricultural cooperation through negotiation at the working level for better implement of the agricultural cooperation project. The parties stressed the need to contextually promote mutually beneficial trade and encourage investment. The both parties agreed to hold the third meeting of the JWG in China in 2020 2021. And with the exact date and place were to be determined by the diplomatic channels. I think everyone knows that the food security issue has been raised to a new height, during this coronavirus pandemic. And Pakistan has more than 200 million population. To ensure the food security is a very important task of the agricultural development. Right now, currently, the locust attack is threatening the agricultural production. So next step, except to build the center, we will continue pay attention to the development of the locust and to provide the much needed support if the Pakistani side need. I have the Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Affairs had already donated 1,000 protect suit, 1,000 goggles, and 30,000 medical masks to the Pakistani counterpart. These medical supplies had already distributed to the provincial agricultural department, which can be used to protect themselves for the managers when they conduct in agricultural production. And the next step, we will also provide the training seminar on the integrated prevention and management of locust and other plant disease and pests for Pakistan. But we will try to in some video training according to the current virus situation and locust. And besides that, one Chinese corporation has already contacted me that they would like to donate 100,000 US dollars to Pakistan to help fight the locust. And also another Chinese company which focuses in aerospace, science and technology, which also would like to provide a remote sensing monitoring for the locust in Pakistan. And they would like to provide a constantly monitoring of the locust disaster in Pakistan by multi-temporal satellite technology. Helping the Pakistan to improve the agricultural production is also a very important step to keep the food security. In the next step, we hope that the new agricultural varieties and the new technologies can be transferred to Pakistan to improve the production of the agricultural crops, and this is the very important cooperation area inside our action plan. And also, we would like to promote the agricultural trade to benefit the business. Currently, we have doing some work on the potato, cherry, and the boneless beef and mutton. And right now, we are still. I have cooperated with the Department of Plant Protection to focusing on these issues to remove the custom barriers for this agricultural trade. I have heard in the newspaper that even during this pandemic, the first batch of 26.5 tons of Kino citrus had already successfully exported to China in March. In e-commercial platform like Jingdong and Taobao, the citrus, the price of the citrus is about 20 RMB for per kilogram. This is similar like 555 rupees. This is almost the 18 times at the local price. So in the future, I hope there will be more Pakistani products will enter the Chinese market, like the rice, seafood, and the beef and the meat. And besides the agricultural trade, we also would like to provide the trainings for the local farmers, especially for the smallholder farmers. This year, the Ministry of Finance of China has provided the IFAD with 500,000 US dollars through the South-South Cooperation Fund. This project will to implement the trainings for Pakistan local farmers for the practical agricultural techniques to improve their knowledge, I think, which is very useful for the farmers. So that is why I believe in the new stage of the CPEC. China-Pakistan agricultural cooperation will be more closely and deeply like brothers. You know, due to the outbreak of the coronavirus, I know that this year's Ramadan will be a very unusual one. So, and I wish all my Pakistani brothers and sisters happiness, a good health, and a good luck. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Gu. I mean, this was a brilliant presentation again. Let me share with you a video that has been shared by Mr. Dai Bao earlier, but could not be played. I would request my colleague, Mr. Kashif, who can play the video and information sharing for everyone. This is a small video by Mr. Dai Bao and his company and what they have been doing for the last many years in Pakistan. Kashif, can you share the screen now? Yes. And while the video will be playing in short minutes, let me share with you that we have been joined by wonderful speakers from different parts of, I mean, not only Pakistan, of course, but also from Beijing. We've been joined by Dr. Sajid Khurshid Saab, Mr. Dai Bao, who is heading this amazing company in Pakistan, and of course our very dear friend from Embassy of People's Republic of China, Mr. Wang, for his wonderful remarks, and of course Mr. Hassan Daud Bhatt, who I mean, he's amazing himself. His work experience always speaks a volume. Now the video is being played. This is a short information video about the work that CMEC has been doing for different levels. Kashif, can you play this? Yes. I guess there's an issue. Kashif Saab, can you play this? Anyway, before it's happening, I would like to extend my deepest gratitude to our panelists who had joined us today. amazing speakers, amazing presentations, especially related to Pakistan-China agriculture cooperation and how these strategies and how these synergies are building up on regular basis. And I'm amazed that these presentations and these talks are not only talks, but in the presentations, but it's actually happening on the ground. And we are fortunate enough to have the experts in our panel today who had joined us and helped understand us furthermore about the cooperation between both countries. And I'm also grateful to all the participants who are not only from Pakistan but globally who have joined us. They are farmers in the group, students, practitioners, diplomats from different parts of the world, and of course in Pakistan, and joined us in this discussion. Although they could not, contributed much but listening and understanding of what is happening in Pakistan in terms of Pakistan-China collaboration is amazing. I would like to request Dr. Rashid Aftab Sahab to say final words. Dr. Sahab, can you hear me? Before the presentation, Dr. Rashid Aftab Sahab, can you hear me? Dr. Sahab?
Can you hear me?
जी, Dr. Sahab.
अच्छा, ठीक है. First of all, I am to extend my sincere thanks to all of our panelists, Mr. Hassan Daud Sahab, Professor Sajid Qureshi, and Dr. Gu. I think they have done an excellent evaluations. Mr. Bao, what he was of the view. He was of the view that there is a challenges with respect to the Pakistan's food security vulnerability, and we have to focus on high-tech seeds plus modernizations of our agriculture systems, and not only modernizations, it has to be done through the industrializations so that the Pakistan agriculture become a potential partner for the global system. And the need is this, that both the water and the land efficiency must be enhanced, and it can only be enhanced by bringing more unculturable lands into culturable lands, as well as land reclamations. So 5 aspects he approaches. He thinks for revitalizing the agriculture sector in Pakistan. One is the crops related. Second is the livestock and fisheries. Third is the food processing. Fourth is the inputs, and the fifth is the trading. One important thing he highlighted about the potential of halal meat in the global trading system. And I think what I remember is right now the global trading system of halal meat is reached to a volume of about $2 trillion. And the contribution in Pakistan is very meager. It's about less than 0.25% of the global trading system. So we have to focus, keeping in view our potentials. Then Hassan Daud Sahab was obviously, I think he's an economist. He always gauge the things and in terms of some figures, in terms of numeric values. And he was of the view that we have to see in terms of the performance of agriculture, in terms of the yield, and in terms of efficiencies, and how the water efficient systems can enhance the yield of the crops, and that has to be supplied in with an approach from the demand-driven approach instead of a supply-driven approach. And the second aspect which he focused, that FTA is there, and we do have a like opportunities for 5 years that has to be capitalized. Most of the mapping has already been done. Now there is not much room for discussions and more action-oriented actions to be undertaken through joint venture between the Pakistani companies and the Pakistani counterparts, and as well as the Chinese companies. And he offered his office as a one window operations from the KPK. Our third speaker was Professor Sajid Qureshi Saab. I think he has given an excellent overview of the importance of agriculture in Pakistan's economy, his historical perspective, his present practice of agriculture, and what has to be done in context with the CPEC. And he rightly pointed out a number of initiatives under CPEC which has already been undertaken. The need is that since we do in Pakistan has gotten privilege that our weather condition is from the coldest to the warmest, so we have to capitalize this weather conditions as well as the more economic zones to be established with the agriculture focus related value chain activities. That is, Dr. Gu has given an excellent narrative and an excellent story of Pakistan and China partnership, and it's which is so much deep rooted. And he rightly pointed out that even at a time when there was a challenge of the COVID in China, even then the delegations visit Pakistan to figure out the locust which has attacked Pakistani's crops, and given its suggestions and assistance, technical assistance, and all kind of assistance. Further, just a few days back, a video conference meeting was also held between the two ministries, which was also attended by the other stakeholders, and at least 8 areas have been identified under the CPEC for building this cooperation on a sustainable manner or in a very long term, which is will be a very long term partnerships. I think this is the overview of these sessions. I hope after that we will be able to develop specific recommendations in accordance with the deliberations given by our esteemed panelists, and that will be shared with you for any comments, suggestions, or any changes. Once again, I am so much grateful, honored, and thanks to all of my distinguished panelists, as well as the professionals, students, and everybody who has participated at least as an observer to listen this webinar from all over the world. Thanks again, Jazakallah.
Thank you so much, Dr. Saab. With these kind remarks, I would like to, I hope that we will be learning from this, and we'll continue building the relationships and synergies and strategies together to build a more prosperous, not only region, but across the globe. With these remarks, I will be, this webinar is almost to an end. If you have further questions, we have shared the video which could not be played because of the technical reason by Mr. Dai Bao. I'm grateful and honored for your kind presence as well, Dr. Sajid Khurshid Saab, Mr. Wang Yang, Gu Saab from Agriculture Commissioner from the Embassy, Hassan Daud Bhatt Saab. Thank you so much for your kind presence. With these remarks, let's end this webinar, and thank you so much. Thank you so much for your kind presence, everyone who has joined us from across the globe. Thank you so much. Take very good care. And thank you.